what the worrying part is of course with the border, with the open border. Now they're going to expedite a lot of these amnesty bills. They're going to expedite a lot of the illegal immigration will be expedited into citizenship, which was part of the deal that
course.
Durbin wanted.
You know, Carter did that. Reagan did that. It's never worked, and it's never going to work. And they know it won't work.
Yeah. This idea of the uniparty, it's quite interesting. I was talking to Pierre earlier on, and Pierre, maybe you can comment a little bit more on this because this is common and seemingly common now in Western democracies, much more than before. It's this idea that you have, one side of the party, you have another side, well, one party against another party, and then you have some kind of middle ground, and they're supposed to counterbalance each other. But it sounds more like a uniparty. Can you explain what you're going through in New Zealand? Because you have a change of government. Ardern is out. Supposedly a new, better government is supposed to be in. But you also had some concerns within the party there, or within the parties there, because there's a coalition in New Zealand.
Yeah. Essentially, what's happening is you're finding that the main parties are becoming harder to sort of distinguish between them because they have very similar principles, and a lot of the woke issues fall for both. So in traditionally in New Zealand, we've had the Labour Party to the left and the National Party to the right, but most of these parties are becoming either centre left, centre right.
That's right.
And now with New Zealand's new coalition government, where because of the system they have here, it's resulted in three parties actually forming a coalition to be able to govern. You've got a centre right, you've got a right, and then what's considered a much further right party having to come together to be able to govern. And essentially they did that so they could oust the Labour Party of Ardern. And I think she saw that she wasn't going to make another 3 years, so she got out while she could. And then essentially what's happened is you've got the centre right having to negotiate with these two parties around policies that they traditionally wouldn't stand for, but because they want to govern, they're willing to accept it. And the concern that I have is that you've got the person who is considered the most right out of them is the same person who played kingmaker in the Ardern government and brought Ardern into power. So, it's all about power. It's just that reminder that we can't put our faith in men. We cannot put our faith in politicians, because all politicians are essentially corrupt. Our focus has to always be on Jesus.
Isn't that the case? It always comes down to faith in our Lord and not in politicians. But I don't know how it is in New Zealand, but here in America, there's quite a bit of, especially within Christian circles, that really promote the idea that, we need to take our country back. We need to get this back. We need to get this back. And they'll go along with, and these are believers. I'm not talking about, just despotic apostates. These are believers who see the desperation. They're in desperate mode, and they see the country going down the wrong road, and they align themselves with political parties. In this case, Jacob, Mike Johnson. In this case, other GOP, seemingly good guys. And then at the end, they're thoroughly disappointed, extremely disappointed, because they'll do something like this.
Well, I always say the monumental letdown to anybody who was objective should have been Ronald Reagan. We buried Sandra Day O'Connor this week, a true daughter of hell. Pro-abortion, after Ronald Reagan lied to Christian America, saying he was pro-life, first thing he does is he appoints a pro-abortion woman judge to the Supreme Court. She wrote the decision, again, of the Supreme Court, ordering the 10 Commandments out of the Judicial Building in Alabama. That woman was an enemy of all that was godly, all that was, in any sense, Judeo-Christian in the American heritage. She was a wicked, wicked woman, appointed by Ronald Reagan after he lied to Christian America. That was right, Reagan. That should have made a statement right there. Stop being so naive and listening to politicians.